Hi, my name is Jessica Dixon and I am presenting as to why euthanasia should be legalized. There are many reasons as to why euthanasia should be legalized. I have my own personal reasons with my papa. He suffered tremendously. My family suffered, I suffered, all in the amount of time that led up to his death. The months, weeks, days of just endless suffering. If we legalize euthanasia, quality of life could be saved for patients. The quality of life could be saved because when they're suffering on their deathbeds, there's no quality of life. They're most of the time bedridden, being taken care of by their families and even sometimes strangers that they have no idea who they are. There's no quality of life there at all in the end. Now, there are 3 arguments for euthanasia. The first one is the compassion argument. That is where people should be able to die with dignity. People deserve to die with dignity rather than suffer. If they had a great life, why end it with suffering? Just endless suffering until they're dead. The second one is the autonomy argument. That is where people should be able to have the right to decide when and where and how they die. If people can decide that and had that right, then the quality of life again would be saved. And the third argument is public policy. Euthanasia can safely be regulated with government legislation. If there is proper regulation from the government with euthanasia, we shouldn't have a problem with it getting out of hand. We shouldn't have a problem with it being used involuntarily. There shouldn't be any types of problems with that. There is a woman by the name of Aviva Wittenberg Cox. She lives up in Canada, and Canada has a service called the Medical Assistance in Dying, or MAID. Her mother was 97 years old and on her deathbed. Well, her mother was suffering, and she told her daughter very confidently that she wanted to use MAID. So she used MAID, and her daughter will argue that her mom had a very peaceful, quiet, dignified death with no suffering. Now, there need to be specific safeguards in regards to legalizing euthanasia. The first one should be you have to be terminally ill. You have to be. The second, you need to be an adult and be able to make adult decisions. The third one, you have to be coherent in the mind. You have to be able to make clear, distinct decisions and be very coherent. And the fourth safeguard is the most important. You need to have 2 independent physicians. Make sure that each of those safeguards have been met before they sign off on anything or do anything. And the reason why we need specific safeguards like that is because there was an incident back in 1990 in the Netherlands. 3,000 people died related to euthanasia. More than 1,000 of those deaths were related to involuntary euthanasia. Now, if we can regulate euthanasia, and if we can regulate those safeguards, there should not be a problem. And the amount of money that people could save too with legalizing euthanasia is tremendous. $55 million has been paid by Medicare in hospital bills. Research shows 20 to 30% of those bills from the hospital did not even meaningfully help the patients. So in conclusion, euthanasia can be so worthwhile if we just learn how to regulate it. We need to legalize euthanasia. If we can regulate it safely and have safeguards in place and avoid what happened in the Netherlands, it would be harmless. We could safely regulate it and save so many terminally ill patients from any more suffering. Thank you.